welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a guided architectural tour of heaven. But listen, we aren't relying on myths or pop culture for this. We're basing this entirely on the incredibly vivid, specific descriptions provided by Jesus in the biblical text. We're going to map out exactly what awaits on the other side, looking completely past all that cultural folklore to examine the concrete, breathtaking details of the blueprint itself. So when you picture the afterlife, what exactly pops into your head? Do you see vague, poetic clouds where people are just sort of floating around endlessly playing harps? Or do you picture a vibrant, concrete, physical city? Cultural depictions have really softened heaven into this hazy, kind of boring state of mind. But the reality described in the text, it isn't a riddle. It's not a hazy metaphor. It's shockingly vivid, incredibly tangible, and vastly more dynamic than the myths would have us believe.
Here is our itinerary for the tour today. We'll be looking at the insider source, a real prepared place, the architecture, the eternal celebration, the river and tree of life, and finally, the ultimate invitation.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the insider source, reporting from lived experience.
Why is Jesus considered the absolute most reliable authority on this topic in the first place? Throughout history, we've had so many people talk about near-death experiences or fleeting visions. But Jesus isn't theorizing here. He's not guessing or sharing some near-death hallucination. In John 6:38, he makes this staggering claim. He is reporting directly from his own lived experience. He actually lived there before ever coming to Earth, meaning he is speaking from first-hand memory. When he talks about heaven, he's literally talking about his hometown. He's detailing the kingdom he helped design, rule, and sustain long before humanity even existed. Think of it like this. Comparing other historical accounts of heaven to Jesus' account is kind of like comparing a travel blog written by a passing tourist to a lifelong local resident who knows every single street, corner, and custom. Because he grew up there, his parables provide an insider's level of detail that carries completely unparalleled authority. He doesn't just know about heaven. He knows heaven intimately. All right, moving to Section 2, a real, prepared place. Moving beyond metaphor. Let's see how his insider knowledge builds into the concept of a tangible, constructed space. When speaking to his grieving, anxious disciples, Jesus uses incredibly active construction language. He says, "I am going there to prepare a place for you." He's speaking not as a philosopher, but as an active architect managing a physical building project. He is literally setting up a destination that is being carefully and intentionally built for you. And the original Greek word used for rooms here is moni, which directly translates to dwelling places or permanent residences. This completely shatters that illusion of floating aimlessly in the clouds. We're talking about permanent, customized homes, designed specifically for you by a master builder. It's not a temporary hotel room, guys. It's a tailored, everlasting estate. Let's move right into Section 3, the architecture, building the New Jerusalem. Let's step into the physical blueprint of what is called the Father's house, expanding into this breathtaking vision of the New Jerusalem from the book of Revelation. The text describes a city radiant like a precious jewel. Imagine towering walls constructed entirely of jasper, catching the light in a spectrum of brilliance. The city itself, along with its massive main street, is made of pure gold, but it's described as being as clear as glass, literally like walking on solidified, transparent sunlight. And perhaps the most striking architectural feature of all is the lighting. The city doesn't need a sun. It doesn't need a moon. It is completely illuminated by the brilliant personal glory of God himself. But beyond the dazzling physical beauty is a truly staggering emotional reality. Jesus promises an intimate comfort, a literal wiping away of tears by God himself. He entirely replaces the old order of chronic pain, deep grief, and anxiety with a new order of complete, eternal healing. This physical city provides the actual backdrop for a profound emotional and spiritual wholeness that we have literally never experienced here on Earth. Which brings us to Section 4, the eternal celebration, a social kingdom. Because really, what is a beautiful home without the people you love? Forget the idea that in the afterlife we dissolve into some anonymous spiritual blur. Look at moments like Moses and Elijah retaining their unique identities centuries later at the Mount of Transfiguration, or Lazarus being recognized immediately in the afterlife. The text assures us that you will retain your full identity.
You are going to be unmistakably you, just totally free from brokenness, and you will clearly recognize the friends and family who are eagerly waiting for you.
Throughout his parables, Jesus repeatedly describes heaven as a vibrant, unending welcome home party. He compares it to a lavish wedding banquet or the joyous feast a father throws for a returning son. It's a dynamic celebration filled with laughter, music, and community. It is absolutely not a quiet, solemn waiting room. It is a bustling, joyful, social kingdom where the celebration literally never ends. Now we reach the center of the city in Section 5, the river and tree of life, the restored landscape. Picture this incredibly vibrant flow of life detailed in Revelation 22, a pristine, crystal-clear river flowing right down the middle of that great golden street, originating directly from the throne of God. The water is purer and more life-giving than absolutely anything on earth. And on both sides of this magnificent river flourishes the tree of life, the very same tree lost in the Garden of Eden. Its leaves yield perpetual healing for the nations. This breathtaking landscape symbolizes the total upgrade and eternal multiplication of every blessing and intimacy with God that humanity originally lost. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, the ultimate invitation, the true focal point. Because despite the transparent gold streets and that gorgeous crystal river, the greatest feature of heaven is simply being in the unfiltered presence of its creator. Think about it. Every beautiful thing you experience on earth, a stunning sunset, moving music, profound love, is honestly just a faint, faded postcard compared to the glorious reality waiting at home. In heaven, you aren't looking at the postcard anymore. You are staring directly at the unfiltered, glorious face of Jesus. But this incredible destination isn't an automatic guarantee. It's an open invitation. In John 14:6, Jesus states that he is the exclusive door to this kingdom. Entry isn't based on religious rituals or desperately trying to earn your way by being a good person. It's based entirely on a direct, personal relationship with the one who already paid the staggering price of admission. So, to wrap up our explainer today, we've walked through the blueprint of a customized, tangible home. We've examined the golden architecture, the crystal river, and the promised joyful reunion. The master architect has built a permanent home, and he is standing at the door ready to welcome you. Knowing this striking reality, knowing about the eternal celebration waiting inside, what is holding you back from stepping through that open door?